Sean's saying the Oilers game went up.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool.
That one.
A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Good morning, welcome in. It's Sports by the Book on a Wednesday morning. I'm Jeff Parles. Kenny White's on the far side, Alex White in the middle. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good, looking for a bounce back here.
That's right.
On a Wednesday. See, big day Monday, tough day yesterday. Means it's going to be a good day today.
And just remember, it's a very long baseball season, but right now I feel like I'm seeing it well, so I'd almost rather have all of them win on one day, right? Because a good payout, and then yesterday was pretty brutal. But.
It's interminable baseball. Let's be real with ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, some of these games are just kind of crazy, but I would much rather go 5-0 one day and 2-3 the next day, or
right.
Because especially if you're going to bet any round robins with your straight bets, you cash really nice. But
that 5-0 round robin day is a pretty darn good day.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun to look at the account later on at night. But there's a lot of interesting talking points about some of the events from yesterday. I'd like to talk WNBA and. We can discuss that NBA game, but lot to do. But we got baseball.
Yeah, we got early baseball. Don't worry, we'll hit them all. We'll get our thoughts from what we saw last night. Panthers go up 1-0 on the ice. Thunder really beat up the T-Wolves, who really struggled to make shots in that game a night ago, and big upset in the WNBA also as well. But 3 games in the W, we'll get that a little later. Let's begin in Miami though. Cubs pretty good on offense last night, huh? 14-1 beatdown of the Marlins. Every once in a while, I'll actually say something that makes sense. That price was off, and it was the easiest winner we've had all year, basically, in baseball. Minus 45 today on the Cubs with Horton. Max Meyer, who has had some brilliant outings this year for Miami, goes for the fish. Plus 30 here. It's always a question with these young guys, these high-end prospects who come up, struggle a little bit at the beginning like Horton. A total feels high, but again, the Cubs offense, especially if they have Meyer out of the game, can really destroy that mediocre Miami pen.
And that's what makes it really tough. And as you mentioned, Max Meyer started really hot and now has struggled a little bit in his last few outings. 5 earned runs against the White Sox and then 3 against Tampa Bay. So I didn't really find anything in this one. It kind of makes me nervous when a team goes out there and scores that many for the next day. But we were talking about it earlier, and you really like this Cubs lineup, regardless of even if they put up 14 in a game.
Yeah, they're swinging it. It's a good lineup, top to bottom. I've got them rated above average, and they can put runs on the board. Actually, Ryan was telling us already 20 hits in a game 3 times. It set the team record or tied for the team record. And we're only in May, and they've scored more than 10. I don't know how many times he said was a big number, the most at this time of the season since the 1800s. So, yeah, this is a good offensive team, and it's navigating these young pitchers like Max Meyer. It's tough, as Jeff said. When you get a guy that's drafted very highly, big time prospect, first rounder, third pick in the draft. It's the same as kind of a guy that's been picked in the 15th draft, making his major league debut. They always get off to a good start, but then once, hitters get more film on them, they start to become more patient with these guys, and they start to make them throw the ball over the plate instead of swinging at those pitches off the plate. So I favor the Cubs. I made them $1.56. I made the total 8.5.
Let's move that way.
Yep, 9 and 145 on the Cubs right now. We go to Tampa next. Hunter Brown and Taj Bradley, your pitching matchup for the Rays and the Astros. Again, Hunter Brown has been awesome to begin the year. This is a rubber match, a pair of one-run games. Tampa won last night, 3-2, 4-3 Astros on the opener. Both of these games have gone over, or under, I should say, and well under yesterday in this series, playing against what the ballpark factor would have been expected down there at Steinbrenner Field.
And that is the way I would play this one as well. I know Bradley hasn't been great, but I think he's been above average here for the Rays and Hunter Brown. That's really the way I'd want to play this, but the Astros have already been bet up to minus 165. I do agree with that move. So I couldn't really find anything in this one besides, like you said, Jeff, lean to the under here at 8.5.
Yeah, I'm in the same ballpark here, but I don't want to get caught in the switches. I was over yesterday. This weather's still warm down there. No scoring yesterday, and Hunter Brown has been tremendous. He's a great story. A kid out of Wayne State pitching in the big leagues, and not just pitching. He's dominating. Looking at his numbers, he's allowed 1 run or less in 6 of his last 7 starts. You're getting great consistency out of this guy, but he's young. He's still very inexperienced, and now he's pitching in a ballpark today that's a hitter's ballpark and going to be into the 90s. Ball could carry. I'm probably going to jump in over if they start slow again here. I did yesterday, so I just got to stick with the process and trust the weather.
So no first 5 under is what you're saying, because you're looking to jump in game.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be looking over in this game, and I won't do it early because these teams have gotten off to slow starts. So I'd much rather go over a 6.5 than an 8.5 right now.
Going to Milwaukee next. The Brewers, you know what? The Brewers found what they needed to find. They found games against the Baltimore Orioles, who are, again, right now, they have the same amount of wins as the White Sox do, Baltimore. If it wasn't for the Rockies being all-time awful, we'd be talking about the second worst team in baseball. We might be at the current moment with how poorly the Orioles are playing. 15-32. After losing again last night. Orioles will throw Sagano. It'll be Patrick for the Brewers, even on Milwaukee at home. Total 8.5, minus 15 on the O's to finally get on the board with another win. It's been about a week now.
Yeah, absolute stay away from me with that 8-game losing streak here for the Orioles. I don't want to jump in and try and guess when they are going to get back on the board here. Brewers, I still don't trust either. Like you said, looked good, took the Twins' winning streak, and then now 1-2 against the Orioles. So nothing for me in this one. I think it's a pretty even matchup here with Sagano and Patrick, both a little below average.
Jeff, I think the Orioles they need to fire their interim head coach to get the ship right here. That's just amazing collapse of this organization. This game's about to start. I wanted to check the weather real quick to see if it would be open or closed. It's going to be closed. It's 45 degrees right now. Both these guys are dominating. I'm going to go under on my phone right now while you guys go to the next game. So
go ahead.
I'm going to be under 8.5 here in the Brewer game because I like both pitchers.
Good. You got 2.5 minutes before that first pitch is thrown at AmFam. So
I just need 30 seconds.
Yeah, there you go. You might not even need that. Under going to be the play for Kenny, just about underway in Milwaukee. We go to St. Louis last. This is another day game. Cardinals, Tigers split the first 2 games. St. Louis ran it up on Monday. Tigers held on 5-4 yesterday in a Scooble start. It'll be Herter and Palante here today. And the Cards are minus 15 at home with a big total of 9 in this one.
And that's understandable, right? Yesterday, we both tried to get in on that under. I thought maybe I could get full game. But both of these lineups are just hitting, and the Cardinals play so well at home. We've talked about that as well. I do think that the Cardinals will be able to get to the lefty that is the opener here because another bullpen day. So I'm leaning towards the Cardinals. I know Palante's been a little bit hit or miss throughout the year, and that Tigers lineup scares me. So I'm just going to stay away from this one.
I forgot about Brant Herter. The Tigers have him. Looking at him last year, I remember when I saw his name this morning that he was going. I thought, wow, this is another guy that's got great talent, great stuff. He was a 7th rounder out of Georgia Tech. But when I watched him last year, tremendous command, 1.2 walks per 9 innings, 7.5 strikeouts. That was his big league debut, 45 innings last year. Had a 2.58 ERA, and now here he is, pitching in relief, 13 relief appearances. I think this guy's destined to be a starter, and he is going to be the opener today because he's not going to go deep, but I think he's destined to be a starter, and he's going to push his way by the end of the year, the middle of the year, into the starter category. I'm a big Tiger fan, you know that, so this year because of what I think they have. So I got to jump in and bet the Tigers right now too, Jeff.
Well, it's a Squad Tiger bet here now because I know Ian too.
Yeah.
Us too. I know Nick has a bet on them too, so we're all
Good.
rooting for the Tigers.
I'll be the one who abstains, so I can't be blamed for this. But yeah, I'm going to stay out.
I know you wouldn't be mad though because you're not.
I'm okay.
You're not
with
rooting
it.
for the Yankees.
I'm okay. I'm okay with this Tiger team. Again, I'm curious with just the American League as a whole. Again, the Yankees have the best player. If the Yankees pitching holds up, they're going to be there in the end. Just a matter between Detroit and Seattle. And again, we've talked about Seattle. When they hit, they might be as good as anyone in baseball, period. They're totally inconsistent hitting. And speaking of the Mariners, we'll go to them right now, actually, because this is an 11 o'clock first pitch on the south side. It's Evans and Smith, your pitching matchup here today for the M's and the White Sox. White Sox last night, speaking of struggling hitting, White Sox won 1-0 in that one on the south side a night ago. So, again, it's just for the Mariners, just some sort of consistency on offense. They're only minus 140. I know Smith's been good, but this feels like a pretty darn good price on Seattle if you're ever going to get, only minus 140 against the White Sox. I would take Seattle here. This is a good spot to me.
I think it's a great under. I'm going to just go first 5 under 4.5. I like that we're getting the hook there too at not a bad price, but you're right. As of late, the Mariners have gone a little bit cold. Last 7, 211 batting average, 291 OBP and 91 WRC plus. The White Sox worse numbers than that, except for their OPP is a little bit better there. But I think both pitchers will do well. Don't have much on Logan Evans, but he has faced some tough lineups coming into this one and still has a median ERA of 1.5, just 3-2 though, strikeout walk. So a little bit of a control issue, but I think he'll be okay against Chicago here.
My number $1, the Mariners, I only made them $1.16 today. Break up the White Sox, 4-6 in their last 10. This is amazing progress.
400 ball. Let's go.
They are making tremendous progress, and Shane Smith has been really good. The sample size is a lot bigger. 48 1/3 innings, 2.05 ERA. Wow, really good pitcher. Logan Evans, now 21 innings, 2.57. Both guys have pitched really well, but I give Smith a little bit more credit because of the amount of innings he's thrown. So I do lean to the under, but I think we're going to get rain there today in Chicago. I don't know if they're going to get that game in or not.
Real quick, Kenny, thank you for bringing that up. Just looking here, it looks like it's all depending on the rain intensity. Because I'm seeing conflicting reports of will it be a drizzle or will it be hard?
Yeah,
it's going to be chilly though. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
going to be in the low 50s or high 40s with rain. And from experience, I can tell you that type of weather sucks to be in.
No fun
whatsoever.
I'll be at a 95-degree weather out at the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, hopefully a slugfest.
I'm assuming you have the over, just slightly on that one. All right, let's keep it in the majors here. Going to the NL Nationals and the Braves in D.C. Last night. The Nats got the better of Spencer Strider and company. Strider just did not look like himself last night. Again, first starting, as you said, no minor league appearances, and it showed in that game a night ago with the Nats getting a 5-3 win. Tonight, Braves are minus 55 on the road, plus 40 on the Nats. Smith Shawver for the Braves and Williams for the Nats with a total of 8.5 in the nation's capital.
Frustrating one for me. 3 runs for the Braves in the second. Really, 7 runs for these two in the first 2 innings and then just 1 later on. So even if you took the full game over, couldn't get there. I almost want to go back here with the full game. Don't really trust either pitcher. I think we can get at least 5 in the first 5. And just the way these two are both swinging the bats. And even the Nationals, they've been sneaky good at home, too, and scoring runs. So numbers don't really say it, but just a strong lean here to over 8.5.
Smith Shawver's pitched so good. He's been, I think, really good. Last 3 starts, hitters are hitting 121 against him. And I wanted to go back and just give you the 3 teams that he faced in those starts. A home game against Cincinnati, 8 innings, 1 hit, no runs. At Pittsburgh, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run, and against Washington in his last start. So they just seen him. That's kind of an advantage. But the kid's given up 8 hits in his last 19 2/3 innings, 1 earned run. He's just been lights out. So they saw him. That could be a benefit. And, I'm not sure if Williams faced the Braves last time out. It was this. So these two just pitched against each other.
Yes.
That's always been that was a theory back in the day that what happened the first time when they pitch 5 days later, complete opposite happens. The opposite side wins and the total goes opposite, whatever it was. But I'm at $1.43 and 8.5. So no play for me.
May 15th. Got to go back and see.
I'm staying out. Again, for the Braves at some point are going to rip off like they did to get out of the hole. They're going to rip off another streak where they go 10 out of 13 or 13 out of 18, something like that. Just a matter of when that time comes. By the way, Braves see San Diego over the weekend, a team that owned them at the beginning of the regular season. So
yeah, those hitters got to come around. They're all just right now struggling a little bit. Even Albies, who's a great hitter, he's struggling. So when they all start to come around, we need to find a game where we can fade somebody.
Don't worry. We're about to get to that one. By the way, Braves stretch coming up after this series in Washington. Padres, Phillies, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, Giants, Brewers. That's a pretty tough stretch coming up for Atlanta. So that big stretch might not be coming soon. But after that, they see the Rockies and the Marlins 2 out of 3 series. That's not a bad.
That's what they
need.
need.
Not a bad side.
Rockies, Marlins.
A recipe to get healthy.
Let's go to speaking of team to fade. Let's go to Colorado. Rockies are 8-40 now. They're the first team to reach 40 losses. They're on pace to finish 27-135. That would shatter the White Sox ineptitude of a year ago. The Rockies, going into last night, had the worst record through 47 games since 1895. Apologies, I got my 1800s worse. Only the 1876 Red Stockings, the 1895 Colonels, and the 1884 Unions were worse. That's 3 teams. Well, the Red Stockings are now the Reds. The other 2 teams don't exist anymore. That's always a good sign. Phillies today are minus 210 after winning again. By the way, team total with the Phillies went over, I think a little lucky again yesterday, but still got there, went over to 6.5. I'll just get my play out of the way quickly. It's 6.5 again. It's only -1. It's -120. I don't love laying juice, but you know what? If you're going to keep giving me 6.5s at Coors with competent offenses against this abomination of a pitching staff, I'm going to do it. Am I going to lose some of the time? Of course. But I feel pretty darn good about winning about half the time, at least. And with getting plus prices still with some of these teams, I don't know how much longer that will be the case. I'm good with it. It's minus 120 tonight. I'm on over 6.5 against Palmquist, who got crushed his first time out.
I like it, especially Phillies have been good against lefties, sixth best on base percentage there for them. I was going to go Phillies minus 1.5. I don't love that minus 150. I'd rather go with the team total over again, and that was my only win yesterday on the whiteboard. So I'm with you, especially, I mean, the Mets kind of struggling right now, so they got to try and get all these wins that they can against these bad teams. Even though we'll talk about the Mets later.
I'm with you on the Phillies. Going to bet laying the side for the game, laying 2.5, and going team total over. I guess got to keep riding the train, even without adding in and adjusting for the win streak. 5 in a row now for the Phillies, 3-game losing streak for the Rockies. That's a 40-cent adjustment for me. Got the game 248 already. So with the adjustment, 288. I'm surprised. There was early money today for the Rockies. Not sure why. I have no idea who wants to bet them. If they like Palmquist, I understand. I watched him when he was at Miami betting college baseball. Guy's got really good stuff, but he has shown in the minor leagues he doesn't have the command. 5 walks per 9 innings the last 2 years in AAA. His first big league start, 4 innings, no strikeouts, 1 walk. I'm shocked at the 1 walk. I'm more shocked at, just 1 walk than no strikeouts. No strikeouts is alarming. This Phillies lineup is just hitting. They can hit lefties. They hit lefties extremely well. Even though Schwarber and Harper swing it from the left side, they hit lefties well. So I think they get to Palmquist, and if they can knock him out early and they can have the Rockies bullpen for 5 innings, even with the weather, 50 degrees, there's going to be showers there, so we may not get the game in, but hopefully we do. But the wind is left to right, so get to the bullpen. That ball's going to carry to right field again. And
I'm sorry, they are 4th OPS against lefties this year.
They're good. They can swing it. I got them well above average. That's my highest rating lineup today of any team, tied with the Dodgers, and we know how good the Dodgers offense is.
Very possible the Phillies will have made up 8 games on the Mets in about a month if the Mets continue to not hit, and the Phillies are playing 1 more against Colorado tomorrow. So, again, I don't want to say there's automatic wins in baseball, but the way the Rockies are going right now and the fact that the Phillies are hitting, it's probably 2 wins for the Phils back-to-back coming in that series in Denver. All right, let's go to L.A. next. Drama with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks last night. 5 runs in the 10th. Thank goodness for everyone's sake that game was only 1-1 going to extra innings if you're on the under in that game. But the Dodgers scored 3 in the bottom of the 10th to win it 4-3 after the Diamondbacks got 2 in the top half. Dustin May, Corbin Burns. Dodgers only minus 140 favorites at home with another total up in the 9-ball area. 9 minus 125 in the over. Books just don't want to move this to 9.5.
Ooh. I think that is the only way to go here, especially with these 2 starters, Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns is good, and we've got him rated high, but it hasn't been his best year. His median is 4 strikeouts to 3 walks, and then on the other side with Dustin May, just down the lineup here, about their 5th or 6th guy. So I think you got to just go back here with the over, which we saw in that first matchup between those 2. You really had a shot there with the Diamondbacks at the 2-1 price after they tied it up in the 9th. I thought you were going to get there.
Yeah, I did too. I thought I was going to get a nice $2 winner with them yesterday. Burns, medians lie sometimes, and we've got the median numbers on the sheet, and you're right, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. That doesn't look good, but Burns' last outing, he struck out 10 guys in 6 innings. Yeah. He struck out 8 2 starts before that against the Diamondbacks. So he has had 4 starts where he's only had 3 strikeouts, and he did have 1 game against the Mets. He didn't have really good command, but he still only allowed 1 run. He's only allowed 2 earned runs in his last 24 1/3 innings. He's really pitching well. Yeah. He did shut the Dodgers out 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 starts ago at home. He's 30 years old. This guy's still like in the prime of his career. He has Cy Young Award stuff. He really does. So I gotta continue to back a guy like that. I'm going back on the Diamondbacks again. More first 5 innings than for the full game.
Good stabilization after a really rocky start for Burns in his Arizona tenure, and he looks like the Cy Young caliber guy that we know he is. Stay off for me here in this one. Real quick, Guardians and Twins, so that resumption of the game and the actually scheduled game yesterday got axed. They are playing right now. They're in the bottom of the fourth in the resumption game from Monday. About 30 minutes after that game ends, weather permitting, the weather is still awful in Minneapolis. We'll get Williams and Paddock for, again, we tried this now 3 times with Williams and Paddock, but that's the pitching matchup expected this afternoon, whenever they actually play. It's minus 15 real quick on Minnesota, total 7.5. You have to even see if they complete this first game. Bullpen usage is a very hard one to even come in pre-hand here.
Yeah, nothing for me here.
Yeah, and I don't like the weather situation that goes back and forth. And I was hoping they didn't play at all today and they could play tomorrow because it would set up a nice over for me. I like that situation when hitters are off 2 days. It's good for them. They like the rest. Pitchers like to know when they're pitching and pitch every 5 days. That throws these guys off. That could throw these two off tonight, too. They're both pitching well, but could throw them off enough. Now, one thing I am worried about, the Twins went on that big winning streak, and now they got 2 of their best hitters out of the lineup on the DL. The power rating on their offense is going to be extremely low here for a little bit. So be careful of the Minnesota Twins. They could go in a reverse and go into a losing streak here.
Very possible. Very possible for Minnesota. Regression to the mean could hit very quickly for the Twins. Going to New York next, Yankees and Rangers. Yesterday, Will Wharton was awesome. Struck out 10 Rangers in a 5-2 win for the Yankees at the stadium. It is Jacob deGrom Day back in New York, but in the Bronx, taking out Ryan Yarbrough here in this one. Minus 15 on the Yankees, total of 8. I would love to take deGrom here, first 5, but then I look up and it's a 40-cent difference from full game to first 5. It's probably right, but again, the Rangers bats have been erratic this year, Alex.
Yeah, and I was looking at that same thing, trying to back deGrom at least first 5 here, but I'm just not going to jump in, not going to lay that minus 140, especially when the Yankees come into this winning 2 in a row and feeling pretty good off of that Mets series too.
Yeah, my numbers are right there. I made the Yankees $1.13 and 8, so I will pass. deGrom, I think 1-3. 2-4 lifetime against the Yankees, which really doesn't mean much. He could have pitched 6 great games, but team doesn't get you runs, he's not going to score.
I can tell you, knowing the history of the Subway Series when deGrom was with the Mets, they never scored for him.
Okay,
but so they never scored for him anyway, regardless of who the opponent was.
Right.
So,
well, the Rangers aren't scoring for anybody right now either. So
yeah.
We go to Sacramento next. The Red Hot Angels. They'll throw Kahanowitz here tonight. In this one against Sears for the West Sacramento A's. Minus 65 on the Athletics, plus 50 on the A's, total, or the Angels, I should say. Total of 10.5 tonight at Sutter Health Park.
I think this is pretty crazy here. I mean, I do think Sears is the better pitcher, and he's had a very good year. But I think that price, minus 165 for the Athletics to step up this win streak for the Angels and avoid the sweep, I'm definitely not going to get involved. If anything, I would look to the Angels again here.
Yeah, I agree with you. The win streaks, put me directly on the Angels with that big price, but I like the situation for the A's tonight. I will bet the Angels, but I'll keep it at a 1% bet with the price. 86 degrees at first pitch, wind blowing out to center tonight, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Big reason why the total's 10.5. Mine's 9.5 with no weather. I'll add 3 runs because of how hot it's going to be. 86 is smoking hot in Sacramento this time of year, and then the wind blowing out to center. So I'll make it 12.5. I may bet this game over. I don't like it that without Trout in the lineup for the Angels, it's not as good an offensive club, but they're playing well right now.
They are hidden. They are hidden right now. Again, the Angels, what a weird season for the Angels. The good start, horrible midstream. Now on that.
And now the one year that they don't have Ohtani and then Trout is hurt, they sweep the Dodgers.
Yeah, why not? It's baseball. It makes sense on that one. All right. Mets and Red Sox. here today, or excuse me, I skipped one. Giants and Royals. Sorry there. We'll get the Giants and Royals here. Logan Webb goes for San Francisco. Daniel Lynch will go for Kansas City. Rubber match here. Low-scoring game the first two games. Minus 210 on Webb. Total of 7 by the Bay.
I got to find the Royals team total because I definitely want to back the Giants here. It is Logan Webb Day. Has the most strikeouts of any pitcher going, I believe, today is what I saw. Where's that number at for his complete
For the season?
Yeah.
69 strikeouts
60.
he has in 63 and a third.
Yeah, and just 16 walks. So I would just lay the 1.5, but we kind of talked about that with the home team, but that is the way I would be looking. So Royals team total, I'm going to find that as you start talking about this game, Dad.
Yeah, Webb has just been really good. He's just such a great pitcher.
What a pitcher he is.
Yeah, he is. He's a bulldog on the mound too. You know, it's not like he's just he goes after you. He's going to attack hitters, and that's what I love about, backing a guy like this. I agree. It is Logan Webb Day, even though my price isn't high enough. I think what I'll do is bet the Royal team total under here.
Are we okay with 2.5 getting plus 110?
Is it 2.5?
Yes, it is.
That's surprising it'd be that low. The total's 7.5.
Well, JR's been betting the Royals team total under for a week, so.
He's been betting the team total under every game?
Royals, yeah, even if they're winning, their team totals are still staying under.
This might be one of those where you can get a little more creative because you want to just go against. Giants have a reasonable bullpen too, but you just want to go against Logan Webb more so than anything, right? Just with how good
Webb.
Yeah.
I go. Yeah, exactly.
Logan Webb to record a win.
What I was looking for, first 5 team total for Kansas City. Now it is low. It is low. You're looking at a 1.5 juiced very much to the under, but maybe that's the way you go. Just hope that no one gets a hold of one with a runner on base,
right?
More so than anything. Webb. That's interesting. Webb. I didn't even think about Webb to record a win. Let's see where he's at. Plus 115. Not bad.
Yeah.
I always don't like that prop because bullpens always manage to come in and mess it up regardless. Or it's nothing to the 8th inning and Webb's out of the game.
The weather is not good for that, so there's
not
no
good
way. It's going to be 68 there in the Bay, and winds will be out to center field 10 to 20 miles an hour today, straight out to center.
And it's a day game.
Yeah, as we with that ballpark, the wind not as huge of a factor as other parks, but it is a day game. 70 degrees in San Francisco is hot. Actually.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It is.
So, all right, let's go to Boston next. Crochet and McGill, your pitching matchup. Mets have scored 2 runs in this series. They get shut out by a bullpen game more so than anything because Walker Buehler got ejected early last night. 2 homers by Narvaez and Devers, more than enough for the Sox, who are looking for the sweep here. Minus 45 on Boston, plus 30 on the Mets, total of 8 at Fenway here tonight.
Man, this is a tough one here. I think Miguel's been good enough that we could just go under in the first 5. I'm just scared of this ballpark, but then both of the first 2 games have been under full game anyways. I don't know. And I also feel like this might be a Mets spot, which sounds crazy, but I do think that they're a better team than they are playing and got to get their bats going. But it is Crochet on the other side. But plus 130 is very tempting.
Yeah, I gave Miguel too high of a rating. He has been hit very hard his last 4 starts. Looking at the numbers here, he's allowed 15 earned runs in 18 innings. That's how bad he's been. He's walked 11. Strikeouts are up there still, 26 strikeouts. Guy's got, great strikeout numbers, 56 Ks, 11.6 strikeouts, but the 5 walks rounding it off per 9 innings is what gets him into trouble. And he has just not been good. Last 3 outings, really well below average. So Crochet, you know what you're going to get. You just said you thought Webb had the most strikeouts on the year, but I think it's Crochet, 73 strikeouts in 63 innings. So you got a guy there. Mets have been in a tailspin. I think I'm going Red Sox first 5 innings here. I'll lay the half a run because I get the full complimentary of at-bats.
You are laying $1.15, half a run, first 5 on Boston. With Crochet, the ace tonight, looking for the sweep.
What's the Giants with that as well then?
Yeah, it's a
First
good
five.
spot.
Going
too.
back to the other game real quick.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, mine is 40 laying a half a run, so a little bit pricier on that. All right, one last one in baseball. Padres and the Blue Jays. Jays win last night via the shutout. It'll be Vasquez and Gosman here tonight at the Dome. Mine is 55 on Toronto. Big price on the Jays with a total of 8.5 in this one.
Yeah, so that's a definite lean to the Padres here. That was game one, correct? Yes. Game one for this series with the Blue Jays getting it. The Padres have really been struggling offensively too, so that is my only concern, but I just think that's too high here. I like Randy Vasquez. I think he'll be okay against this Toronto lineup.
Let me look at these guys. I have Toronto 107 and 8.5. The total's right there, but I've got a big difference between the two starting pitchers. Gosman's just such a better pitcher. Vasquez has pitched well though. I just don't have him rated that high because he's a young guy. Doesn't have the huge sample size yet. Well, here's why I don't have the high rating. 26 walks to 23 strikeouts. He's walked more hitters than he struck out. Xzip 3.98 over the last 4 starts. Gosman's a 2.91. And I know what I'm going to get from Kevin Gosman. I'm going to get 6 innings, 4 hits. This year his median is 3 earned runs, but I think I get less than that out of him. So much better walk to strikeout ratio. My numbers don't say bet the game, but I adjust for the 4-game losing streak for the Padres. So I'm going to pass. I don't see anything of value there. If I would make a bet, I'm betting Gosman over Vasquez. So I'd have to bet Toronto in the first 5. And again, would be another lay a half run in that situation, but I'm not doing it.
There we go. That's the baseball card here for today on Wednesday, the 21st of May. We'll take our first break. When we get back, the trivia question will be in the bottom line. We have basketball and hockey to get to as well. And we'll check in with the chat when we come back on the other side as well. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back in. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Kenny White, Alex White. Trivia questions in the bottom now. We'll get to some hockey and some hoops in about 30 seconds. Before that, Alex, active chat on a Wednesday.
And I didn't even see this, but JR did jump in. Eyes on the Royals team total. Has the under in San Diego and the Blue Jays. A little bit juice there, minus 122. Ryan did say the Cubs have scored 10-plus runs in a game 10 times this season. Most in franchise history through 49 games since 1898. So you were correct on that, too. Bill Graham, welcome new to the chat. Hello, and thanks to Kenny for power ratings. He was a runner at the Stardust. You used to see Pete White there. So, Bill, welcome. Happy to have you here with us. And Roger Long chimed in as well. Pirates are 24 games, not scoring more than 4 runs. Very interesting trends that we have thrown in there.
There we go. Let's go to some hockey first. Last night, Florida, really just more than anything, you could tell early that Carolina did not like the physicality of the Florida Panthers. I know there was, again, another moment that we could talk about, but it's kind of every single playoff game at this point with Florida. But look, the Panthers The Panthers looked like the team with championship medal last night, and Carolina did not. And that is, at least for me, was the concern coming into this series for the Canes. And the Panthers at plus 105, a routine winner when it's all said and done. The game went over 5.5 as well.
It's tough, right? I saw a tweet that said if Carolina is going to win this series, they have to play perfect. And I think that is pretty accurate there because, man, a couple mistakes and then Florida gets on the board. And then you're right, you could just tell early that one was over. But Ryan did send me a nice tweet here that the Canes might still have some life because in 2006 and 2003, they did lose game one. So they've actually never won a game one in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we will see. I don't want to overreact too much, but you're right, Jeff. I mean, this Florida Panthers team has been there, done that, and they might just be a different playoff team that I have to account for. They're not the same team as they are in the regular season right now.
And it comes back to, again, only one team can win it all, and there's two teams here, and, you can make excuses. You're talking about the best teams in hockey. So even though they've lost games like this, they were playing against some of the best. Yeah. So these teams do break through when they get the opportunity. I'm still going to go with the thought process. Panthers have to be tired sooner or later. Now that they got this one, I think it's kind of an exhale and relax, and we'll talk about tomorrow's game, but I went under 7 after the first period. I couldn't believe it was 2-1 after 1. I loved it that at least Carolina answered back. Jeff mentioned the physicality. I didn't watch it, but knowing that, I'd have to believe that Carolina is going to come out and be more physical in game 2.
You would hope.
You have to. If they don't, then maybe the series is over.
Well, and the other concern also, it was a horrible goaltending game as well from Carolina as well, which, I mean, Anderson only saw 20 shots, 5 goals. Yeah. You can't have that in this sort of series. Game 2 tomorrow. Well, we'll have the full breakdown of the show. Carolina's favored minus 125 for tomorrow.
Canes had plenty of opportunities.
Oh, 100%.
So, I mean, I think that just falls more on their skaters and their wing guys. So it'll be interesting, but it's kind of a must win here. Minus 125 feels like a great price.
We go to tonight. Game 1 in Dallas. Edmonton Stars. Right now, as we're looking at this one, the Stars tonight at home have been bet to a minus 125 favorite, plus 105 on the take back here at the South Point on Edmonton. Total of 6. Kenny, again, we know the Edmonton ice plays fast. I know last series you went under on the road with Edmonton, over at home. Split the 2 games in Edmonton, and the games in Vegas were 2-1 to the under. But looking at this one here, Kenny, you have Dallas. Edmonton's a little more well-rested. Better goaltending and Ottinger than Hill here in this one on the Dallas end. And Skinner is going to get the start after back-to-back shutouts against VGK.
Yeah, Skinner deserves the start the way he played against VGK. And the defense really stepped up with the Oilers. We know they can play. They got great scorers. But on the road against the Stars and Ottinger, I'm going under. Again, I'm just going to stick with that theory with the Oilers here. Under on the road and over at home.
I'm not going to jump in on the total yet. Yesterday's really maybe a little bit nervous with those game ones kind of. But I like Dallas a lot in this spot. Minus 125. Now, if you saw any of the tweets with Pete DeBoer, 0-7 in game ones in the playoffs, but he did get that monkey off his back because they did beat Winnipeg in game 1 in Winnipeg. So I think they know they got to have this one at home. They'll be ready. They have plenty of goal scorers. The only thing that does concern me is looking at all the props and stuff. I mean, those Edmonton skaters really stand out with Hyman and Draisaitl and Connor McDavid to get a point that I would want to tie those up. But
I'm just curious more so than anything. We talked about this with the NBA series yesterday. Minnesota was off for a while. Thunder only had 1 day off. The Thunder looked significantly more sharp, especially in the second half against Minnesota. Timberwolves just couldn't hit the broadside of the barn throughout the game from 3-point range. But I'm just curious because Edmonton's had a lot more time off than Dallas. And not like Dallas hasn't had no time off. Dallas played Saturday. It's Wednesday. So they've had 3 full days off. Just with Edmonton, they were in such a rhythm. We usually talk offensive rhythm. they were in such a defensive rhythm by the end of that Vegas series where, look, Skinner was great, but in order to prop up a goalie who has had his struggles, your defense needs to be able to lock it down. And Edmonton's defense locked it down the last 6.5 periods of that series against Vegas. I'm just curious if that defensive rhythm can continue on here in game one. Do I expect Edmonton to pick it up as the series goes along? Oh, 100%. That's why I like Edmonton in this series.
Right.
But maybe for tonight, it could be a little bit of a sluggish start. Maybe it is an advantage to Dallas, too, that they played more recently. But again, I like Edmonton to win the series. If we're making a bet to win the cup, I'm taking Edmonton at the current moment as it is anyway.
It's tough because it was a talking point. I mean, Draisaitl, and they talked to him, and they took a lot of pride in slowing down Jack Eichel's line and making that their full focus. But I like the Stars. I mean, they've got really good guys on line 1, 2, and 3 that I think that Edmonton will have their hands full against. So I think you're kind of right there, that things will change and they'll make their adjustments and get better defensively. So I do think it's a good spot for the Stars at home.
Looks like a 7-game series to me between
Wouldn't
these
shock
two. It's
me.
going to be a battle.
Yeah.
Again, of these 4 series, I have them all going at least 6. So it would not shock me one bit if this is a 7-gamer between Edmonton and Dallas. All right, we go to the NBA side. We touched on it with OKC last night. It was really pretty simplistic. Sluggish first half from both teams. Thunder started making shots in the second half. Minnesota didn't. Pretty easy. Yeah. More so than anything, a 114-88 win. Your under gets there, Kenny, last night. Pretty easily in the end. Thunder cover as well. Game 2 tomorrow. We'll have the full breakdown on the show. It's the same line. It's 7.5. It's 214, so up a half point on the total. So pretty similar betting action so far. But I don't really take that much from game 1. Thunder, the better team to me. They made their shots. It's going to be very hard for Minnesota to stay in this series if they're not making threes, and they could not make any last night, Alex.
Man, and I did jump in at taking the points there with the Timberwolves, just thinking that they could at least keep it close. No rest for the Thunder, and that second half was pretty alarming, but definitely wish I would have went first half with Minnesota in that. I'm a little concerned. I think it's going to be a tough series for Minnesota. I did pick them to move on. I didn't jump in on the series price or anything, but Thunder look good. So we'll see if they can keep it going.
What amazing second half. 70-40.
That's it.
Pretty good, right, Kenny?
Yeah, they can turn it on. They remind me of the Celtics last year that, sometimes they go through the motions a little bit and they play around with the other team and they're like, all right, time to turn it on. And here they go. The defense is great. The offense is outstanding. They're the best in the NBA right now. And did not surprise me what we saw last night at all.
Going to tonight, game 1. Indiana, New York, Madison Square Garden, Knicks, 4.5-point favorites here in game 1 tonight with a total of 223. I am going to just tell you right now, I am not planning on betting a single thing in this series until I get at least 1 data point, maybe even 2 data points, because to me, these teams are evenly matched. The total, if anything, would be the only thing I'd look at. It all going to depend on the pace from the Knicks end of things. If we are running here, this game will probably go over 223.5. But I want to just see what this series is going to be more so than anything before betting it. Like I said yesterday, made to pick. I took New York in 7, but I have no confidence in the series. This just should be a long, even series between, two teams that were, again, the Pacers were in the East final a year ago. The Knicks played Indiana to a 7-game series in the East semifinals last year. They are experienced. Neither of the teams have made the finals, though, in the last 25 years, as you know. Knicks made it in 99. Pacers made it in 2000. That's the last time for both of those teams.
It's very interesting, too, and I'm interested what you think of this. But, I mean, the total is being bet up. So that would mean a faster pace here, right? Which is what the Pacers want to do. But the Knicks are being bet on. So is that kind of suggesting that the Knicks are going to have to run with them and going to be able to run with them here in the first game at home? I don't really know what to make of that, but I do lean to the over. I think the Pacers are rested enough to where they are going to come in here and be able to control the pace a little bit.
Indiana wants to run. They love to get out, and it just seems like that the Knicks have been solid offensively over the last couple of years. That, the system that's been put into place leads to more offense. And a guy like Jalen Brunson, Bridges, Towns, these are offensive guys. They're not great defensive players. Brunson's a well below average defensive player. Hart, average defensive player. Bridges, slightly above average. Attaboy's their best. I thought maybe their best defensive player. And Towns is decent. So, the Indiana lineup, I don't think they get enough credit. I bet Indiana. I bet them to win. I bet them to win the East. Before the last series was over at plus 125, Jeff said yesterday you can get $1.40 in this series. So I did take $1.40 yesterday on the Pacers in this series. Their lineup of Halliburton, Newhart, Naismith, Siakam, who's won a title, and Miles Turner, who I think Miles Turner is one of the most underrated players in the NBA, are all 2 points better than the average NBA player. They're the only lineup in the entire NBA that I can say that. Every NBA team has one guy that's like average, an average NBA player. This team, they just don't have anybody. Well, I guess Halliburton is up there, pretty highly rated, but the rest of them, Nembhard, Smith, Siakam, and Turner, I all have about 2 points above average.
Okay. That's interesting because we kind of talked about it yesterday where if we're going off the board like on those Eastern Conference Finals MVPs, it's very hard to find the Indiana path for anyone other than Halliburton. Your numbers kind of dictate that. Siakam would be the only guy I'd look at. Knicks and the Knicks side, it's pretty simple. It's Brunson or Towns are the only two that would probably be worth it unless if you get a monster Mikal Bridges series. 55-1 is a wildly high price on that for an East final, conference final MVP, not even an NBA finals MVP. See how it plays out. I'm just very interested to see. Again, I want some data points in this series before really making some big time proclamations in this series. All right, WNBA before we hit the whiteboards on the way out of here today. Kenny, let's start in Minneapolis. It's the Wings and the Lynx. These teams actually played on opening night down in Dallas, and Minnesota handled them pretty easily, 99-84. Minnesota went on the road to LA on Sunday, won by 14, 89-75. Dallas 0-2 to begin the year, a little bit overmatched, an 8-point loss to Seattle 2 nights ago at home. 11.5 with Minnesota in their home opener, total of 167 here.
Yeah, you mentioned the revenge factor of Dallas losing at home to Minnesota. So I figured that in, and I think the Wings are a very good team. Off to a slow start. I like Paige Becker. She's been their leading scorer so far after 2 games. She is the real deal too. Another great player into the into the WNBA. So looking at Minnesota, they do play. I think they play. Where's their schedule at? They got a good team too. I love their center. She's an outstanding player. They are off to Connecticut. Well, no, they host Connecticut next, which is no big deal now that Connecticut tore their team apart. But the revenge factor is there. Dallas has not shot the ball well their first 2 games. I think they're a much better shooting team than what we've seen. And with that revenge factor, I have the game 8.5. I already bet. I took 11.5 with Dallas and the Wings.
It is tough. Minnesota pretty much is one of the top tier teams now. They proved that last year. And again, starting off 2-0, I just think it's going to take the Wings some time to get their rhythm together, just like it did with Indiana last year with Caitlin Clark and now Paige Becker's here. So I'm going to stay off of this one. But yeah, I think Minnesota's very hungry, and they're proving that they want to make it back and have another shot.
One of the big 4, even though one of the big 4 lost last night, Indiana got out-physicaled in a loss to the Dream by a point last night. And Stephanie White, after the game, basically said, look, we're going to have to be better against physicality. That was how Connecticut, of course, White coached Connecticut a year ago. Connecticut owned Indiana last year because they were very physical with those young Fever last year.
Did you have thoughts on that game?
Yeah, that was amazing that, I talked so much about Caitlin Clark yesterday and how good she is. But I laid the 7 and went to 7.5, and then it came back and it was 7 all day. And I hate when that happens because somebody's betting the dog for a reason. I had no idea what the reason was. I did bet the game in game for Indiana just to win the game minus $1.20. I guess about $1.25 on average because I did lay $1.30 even at a book. I thought Indiana would win that game. They made a great run in the fourth to come back and take the lead by one with 20 seconds left in the game, but a foul, 2 free throws made. I was shocked Clark didn't get the last shot. I don't even know if she got the basketball in the last 10, 12 seconds of the game, but she didn't get the last shot, which I think she should have the ball in her hands.
Going to Phoenix next. Mercury and Sparks. Good matchup here with LA and Phoenix. 5.5 at home on the Mercury, who won their opener against Seattle. Sparks, they look great against the Valkyries, where, again, it might be some time before Golden State looks good at all. And then, look, they just got beat by a better team in Minnesota. 5.5 in this one, total 160.5, Kenny.
Yeah, a team like Golden State, it's going to take time. They are the weakest team. You're going to see some bad scores. There's no way I can make a bet on that team. I do like the game under because of that lack of cohesion on the offensive end. I think they'll get better defensively first, and they'll probably, I'm hoping, I don't know yet, but slow the pace down a little bit. They're not going to be in a big hurry offensively. They're just not going to get good looks early in the set, and I don't think they have enough to, get out on the break. So I'm under in this one, and if I had to bet a side, it would be Washington here.
I gotta stay off of this for now and watch those 2 games, and so I had nothing in Game 3. Going back to Game 2.
Yeah, going back to Phoenix and LA.
I'm sorry.
Anything on that, Kenny? 160.5 and 5.5 on that one.
Yeah, I don't have anything there. I made it 7.5 and 63. Big rivalry between these two teams, and I do like both these teams. I think Phoenix has put together a really solid basketball team.
I agree, and that's the way I would play this one. I do think with Alyssa Thomas running that, and I think Kelsey Plum had a great first game. I don't expect that she'll be able to do that against better opponents that aren't Golden State every single game. But I mean, she's got a good pair with Hamby and some pieces there. But I think it's going to take them some more time. I would go Mercury in that one.
I like the over in this game. Just because if LA is going to stay in this game, they're going to have to play this game ridiculously fast. And it's just going to be about a matter of getting and just scoring it up more so than anything if the pace is right. Mercury's defense was really good against Seattle on the opener, but I think that had more to do with the fact that Seattle was really struggling to make shots. But I would lean to the over. I want to see if we can get to 160. I'd love to see that hook disappear, maybe even go to 159.5. But I would look to the over in this one. That would be the only way I'd look to play it. And I have no problem with betting Kelsey Plum point totals over. The only problem is they're in the mid to low 20s. It's going to be it's a lot to ask. But again, she is far and away the number one offensive option. And we know that the offense will be 100% run through her until Brink comes back, hopefully in the next few weeks. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, whiteboards, trivia answer, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. The whiteboards, Alex's is already up. Kenny putting the final touches on his. Trivia question today was, which sporting organization was founded on this date 121 years ago in 1904? And Ryan gave it away with the bottom ticker there. Well, not initially, but right now. You can tell all those soccer balls. That's, of course, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, or better known as FIFA to all of us here in the U.S. who don't like speaking French. Founded in Paris in 1904. Of course, the World Cup expanding to 48 teams. The next year, it will be here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, expanding to 48 beginning next June. And JR got it here today. So with a goal for JR on that one. All right. Whiteboards here on a Friday. By the way, that is a great picture of the founding committee of FIFA, Ryan. That's a great one right there. But whiteboards are ready to be going here, so we can go to it here today, and we will begin with Alex White.
All right, I'm sticking with the Phillies here, going over 6.5 runs in Coors Field. I'm going with the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers over 9. I know it was a low-scoring game yesterday, but no Yamamoto on the mound, so I think both offenses, both lineups are going to be able to hit the ball. Mariners, White Sox, this one I'm going under in the first 5. 4.5 is that total there. Shane Smith has been very good for the White Sox, and you have Logan Evans on the other side. And then I'm going first 5 minus half a run for 2 home teams here. The Giants, Logan Webb Day, and the Red Sox, Garrett Crochet Day.
NBA, Indiana Pacers. I'm taking the points tonight. Also, small money line, pizza money bet on the money line. And to win the series, I took plus $1.40 to win the series. NHL, the NHL game under. Edmonton, Dallas under the 6. I can get even money. Major League Baseball, 3 first 5 inning bets today. Tigers, even money. I like this Brant Herter, really good pitcher. Hopefully they let him go 2 or 3. The Giants minus a half in the first 5, minus 40. Full complimentary of at-bats, and you got Logan Webb on the mound. And then the Boston Red Sox, same way. Crochet has been outstanding, fading Miguel. The Mets, in a nosedive right now. Lay the half run minus $1.15 first 5. 2 college baseball bets. Pittsburgh playing Duke today. This one is in Durham, North Carolina. Home of Duke. They're a big favorite in the game, and they got really good pitcher on the mound today. This total 14. Think it's way too high. Under there. And then Southern Miss playing today. Southern Miss got 2 real good starters. Both got a chance to pitch in the big leagues. Pretty awesome to find a school like Southern Miss with 2 guys like that. That total 11.5. Texas State has some good pitchers. That game goes in about 10 minutes, so you got to get that one quick. Southern Miss under the 11.5.
There we go. You've asked for college baseball in the chat. I know some have, so there's some from Kenny here today in conference tournament week. We
I
will,
didn't put it on my board, but I do like the first game here at Las Aviators over. They don't have a total on it, but it is really warm weather, and the pitching's rather average for both teams.
the
San
St. Mary's and-
Francisco.
Yeah,
St.
San
Mary.
Francisco, St.
and
Mary's, yeah.
San Fran Dons and Gales up at the ballpark, which half of our staff is going to be going to momentarily. So there we go. All right, we will see y'all tomorrow. It'll be Kenny, Alex, and I once again. Ryan, Drew Dog, Sean, Vince remotely, Ann and Jerry. Thank you all as always. We will see you again 23 hours from now, 10 a.m. right here, Sports by the Buck, South Point Studio.